All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin. And guys, Bitcoin did drop to the zero point 0.5 and the anchored VWAP on Bybit. Now, the anchored VWAP on Coinbase is quite a bit higher up here, and we have reclaimed that anchored VWAP, and we're hanging around right now. This is a brand new daily level I just put on the chart here. We have not hit it since the daily close, but we could be about to hit it any second here. So we do have a daily resistance just above at 84,625. Now, I want to go back to the Bybit chart real quick, and we're going to talk about this pitchfork here because this pitchfork has been a really important pitchfork for quite a while now. So if we go onto the daily chart, you can see here, let me get rid of this range here. All right, you can see that this pitchfork, towards the top of the pitchfork, we rejected 3 times from all-time highs, and we were grinding around in this band. The lower part of this band was holding as support for majority of the time. And I did warn about this when we started grinding sideways here. I said it doesn't look real good. It doesn't look like this band is going to hold. And we made that low. We came back up for one last high, and we rejected on the daily from that pitchfork band. And that really gave me an assumption that we were going to come lower here, and we have dumped quite a bit lower. We are at a support level that we do need to pay attention to because we are seeing a bounce from this support level, and we could see an even bigger bounce from this support level. But right now, Bitcoin is having trouble getting above the pitchfork midline in red here. You can see the other day we bounced below it. We had that low volume push to the upside overnight, at least where I'm at in the world overnight. And when we're seeing this low volume push up, I did say that it doesn't look good. I'm expecting another push down because it looks like a low volume push up. We did get that drop down. We came back up, even back tested the VWAP and the pitchfork, and then made new lows again. And on this push up, we're pushing up, but we are finding resistance around this pitchfork area here. And so if we can't reclaim this pitchfork, we might roll over again. If we do roll over again, we could look for a higher low to come in because this could be wave 1 of an impulse, of a 5-wave impulse to the upside. So if we roll over again, we can look towards our golden pocket slash 786. And there's a couple things here we have at our golden pocket 786. So if we do a small range pull, fixed volume profile pull of just kind of this lower price action here, you can see we're starting to form a range in this area. You can see our value area low is down around that golden pocket. Let's see if I pull it here. Value area low is right around that golden pocket there. And then we do have a naked daily point of control down there as well. It's a little bit lower here. On Coinbase, it's a bit higher. It's in alignment with that golden pocket. Let's see here. If we go to the Coinbase chart, here we go. And then if we look at golden pocket, you can see it's a little bit higher. So within that golden pocket 786 area, we do have a naked daily point of control and our value area low. So if I go ahead and take that value area low here on Coinbase, you can see that, well, actually value area low is kind of pushed up a bit. Okay, so value area low was a little bit lower earlier. Now, we are at the point of control and a daily. We could, this is our local resistance here, and then if we break that to the upside, we do have the pitchfork that's just above us, the pitchfork midline. So between where we're at now and like 85.5, 85.3 is going to be an area where we're going to find some possible resistance. One of the things I want to talk about here is you saw that I had this pitchfork here on Coinbase where the midline held here. We lost it. We back tested it yesterday, and then we saw the big drop on the back test. Now this pitchfork pull is the same exact pitchfork pull that I was just showing you on Bybit, but on Coinbase, it tracks a little bit differently. So you can see on Coinbase, the very first 108K all-time high was the top of the pitchfork. And then on our second high, we didn't hit the top of it. If I go to Bybit, you can see that we did hit the top of it. Now, I made sure these are pulled from the same exact pivot points. So here, our back test of the pitchfork midline is at 85.5, 85.3. On Coinbase, same exact pitchfork pull. It is a little bit higher. It's about 87K. Yeah, 87.5. So just got to watch that. They're a little bit different. I do in this, you guys know, usually I like the Coinbase chart best for everything, especially for volume levels. But on this particular pitchfork, the Bybit one does seem to be a little bit more respected. You can see the lows here are really respected on the Bybit one. And if we go to the Coinbase one, they're a little bit past the lows. So I actually prefer the Bybit one on this pitchfork only. So yeah, we have resistance and we could roll over and keep continuing down here. We do have that major support on this lower pitchfork band coming in around 72 to 70K, and that's where our prior value area low is. I've covered that many times in many videos. So if we keep rolling over to the downside, I do think between like 74K is about where the start of the pitchfork is, down to about 72K, and that's where our 618 of our macro golden pocket from the 49K lows to our all-time high is. I do think that's a major level of support where we will see a big bounce from there. But yeah, this distribution could still be playing out here, and we could continue to drop here. Even in a distribution, though, you guys, we do expect small bounces along the way. So maybe bounce here, come up here, bounce here, maybe, that, hopefully that's it, but we'll see. But yeah, it's looking a little bit dire for Bitcoin here and for some altcoins. A lot of altcoins have bottomed out, and a lot of altcoins have hit their key low supports that I have had marked out for quite a while. You can see we're getting the green dot on Bitcoin here on the daily, so that's good. It does look bottomed out here. Our money flow is still coming into the red though, and it looking like it's wanting to flatten out, but it hasn't quite yet. What would have been nice to see today is to see Bitcoin get above this and flip it to support, and we're not seeing that yet. Now, there's a possibility we are seeing a push up here, but I want to zoom in here onto the 15-minute chart, and I want to go over this micro impulse that we're seeing on the 15-minute chart, because I was able to count out a complete impulse within this push up today. And if you look at a double 1-2 impulse, so you have your wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 1 here, wave 2 here. So that's 2 1-2s. Push up in your big third wave here, then 4, 5, 4, 5. And since we have completed our double 1-2 impulse, we might start to see a correction to the downside here. It does look like we're starting to form a sort of consolidation triangle in this area, which sometimes you don't really want to see it in a wave 2 though. I don't think it's allowed to happen in a wave 2 as far as Elliott waves go. So here we go. Here, that's that kind of triangle that we're seeing right now on the 15-minute chart. Not paying too much attention to this, but we can look for either a fake out to the downside to take this liquidity here at 83K and then a move up, or a fake out to the upside into our pitchfork midline at 85.3 and then a move down. So be aware of both of those scenarios. Market makers like to wreck people both ways. All right, now our liquidation heat map here. You can see that we do have liquidity that is just above us. Just above us into that 85.5 area and into this pitchfork midline area here. So if we do come up just a little bit higher, we do have to watch for a liquidity grab of that liquidity and then a push down. Now, in this case, I think it would be nicer to dump from where we're at now to come down to our local golden pocket and value area low area before taking that liquidity. Because if we go straight up to that liquidity, we could take that liquidity and then just reverse and continue back down. But if we come up down here first, bounce from our golden pocket, we might bust through that liquidity and keep going. So in some aspects, if we front run that liquidity now and start to see a correction, it might be healthier to see that. All right, let's now go to the bearish pitchfork that we've mapped out here. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Since the all-time highs, these major pivots here in this range, from the last 108K all-time high down to the flash crash lows of DeepSeek up here, And then you can see here, actually, I think this was the DeepSeek. Yeah, no, never mind. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. That was DeepSeek. All right, you can see we rejected from the top of the pitchfork, came down to the midline, saw a small bounce, lost the midline, came down to the bottom band, saw a bounce from the bottom band, rejected from the midline, and now we're dumping here, but we front ran the bottom of the pitchfork, and this is actually a little bit concerning for me. If we would have came a little bit lower to hit the bottom of the pitchfork, it also would have filled the CME gap because we did not completely fill that CME gap. You can see our CME gap here. We did not fill it as far as on the CME chart. So on the CME chart, we front ran that CME gap by just a bit here, 77,930. Now on some of the other exchanges like Coinbase, we did come down to like 78,260. So we went a lot lower. You can see 78. Let's actually mark it out here. On Coinbase, 78,167 was our low. On the CMEs, it was 78,690. So it was a few $100s higher. 78,690. So it's not completely filled, but is it a majority of the way filled? And that might be acceptable to fill that. It might be considered filled all the way, and then we could push up from there. But yeah, I mean, if we would have came down a little bit lower to hit the bottom of that pitchfork, we would have also filled this CME gap. And the fact that we didn't come down to touch the bottom of the pitchfork means that we might roll over and come back down. Our golden pocket pull, though, our local golden pocket pull from where we're at now is around the lower part of the band support. You can see that golden pocket's coming in right around the band support here. So if we do this, it's the bottom of our band there, and we could see another move up. So golden pocket is the support level that I am watching here. As far as our CBD goes, there's a couple things here I want to point out in the CBD to you, because we did see some, if we look here on the, let's zoom out onto the 15-minute chart here. And you can see on the 15-minute chart, let's go ahead and grab this CBD. In this push up here, it was pretty healthy for the most part. You can see our open interest was kind of flat and then increasing towards this last high here. But since this little range here on the 15-minute, this little sideways range is forming, you can see our open interest has been declining the entire time, a push to the downside here. And so this is just a lot of late shorters getting stopped out. And shorts and longs, to be honest. It's just a bunch of people getting wrecked in this area here. But we're not really seeing any signs of bullish absorption. If we do come down to that golden pocket area here, it's going to be really hard to see bearish absorption, because even if our CBD keeps decreasing, we really need our open interest to be above this level here, and our open interest is going down, not up. So unfortunately, that's bad. And with a major bottom, you do want to see whales. You want to see some bullish absorption happening where people are shorting, retail is shorting the market, thinking it's going to continue lower, and the whales are buying up, and we are not seeing that. So that's a bit concerning for me that we're not seeing bullish absorption down here. It tells me that we might start to form a range over the weekend, and we do have to remember we are going into weekend price action. So I would say a range in this general area might happen over the weekend. We might just continue to kind of chop within this area between the midline and the band down here, and just do something like that. Now, our monthly close happens tonight. Really, the monthly close has happened on as far as the UTC time frame goes. So if we go to our monthly chart here, ooh, look at that monthly candle. Let me go ahead and hide this real quick. Actually, let's go on to this chart here and check out that monthly close. And yes, so now we have confirmed those. Let's make sure here. Yeah, we have confirmed the monthly bear divs. So higher high here, lower high between here. So monthly bear divs are confirmed. Now our money flow doesn't look the worst. Actually, it's still even kind of coming up here. You can see that little crease up there. But I do think that this monthly bear div, if it starts to play out, we can start to see much bigger drops to the downside. And this monthly candle does not look very good. As far as in our bull cycle from the 2022 lows, we have not really seen a monthly candle like this for the entire time. We saw this one that's close, but this is the biggest monthly red candle we've seen in this entire bull market here. And that's not a good sign. Also, remember, we have to keep into context the higher time frames. We're seeing a big monthly red candle towards the top of a major weekly cycle channel after a possible 5-wave Elliott impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, yeah, I mean, it's not looking the best for Bitcoin. I still do think there's a possibility we could come down to 70K, 72K. Our weekly bear divs are still playing out here. You can see the money flow looks pretty bad on the weekly. But because we are seeing a bounce and a daily green dot, we might bounce for a couple days here. And if we're going to bounce for a few days, the level that we really need to watch a rejection from is our last range lows, our value area low of our last range. So if we go ahead and let me zoom in on to like the 4-hour chart. And if we just go from the highs that we made here, these highs right before Bybit got hacked, all the way over to our lows here, you can see our value area low is coming in right around 93K here. So 93K, 92,967 is going to be a key level where if we do make it up there in the next few days, because we are seeing a green dot and we might see a relief bounce, if we reject from 93K, that's probably going to confirm more downside. Also, if we do our Fibonacci pull from those highs to the current lows, you can see our golden pocket is coming in right before that area. Now, I don't like to do this, but a couple people will say this is a deviation of that bigger range. So they'll take this range. They'll take this range pull that we have here and they'll include this dump into it. And you can see that that lowers our value area low to within the golden pocket. Now, the reason why I don't like to do this is in the name of the indicator. This is a fixed range volume profile. You're measuring the volume of a range. This is clearly a dump and an impulse to the downside here. So I don't like to include that in this range. And to me, this is way too big of a deviation of the range. Now, if it just went a couple $1,000s out of the range, cool. But this is, 16%, $15,000 dump out of the range. So for me, that's not a deviation of the range. That's a real dump. And either way, though, we do have this value area low near our golden pocket from 92 to 93K. Let's say that. So that's our first major resistance we're going to have to keep an eye on. And then we do have a fresh daily level up here. So you see this fresh daily level. It's in confluence with our point of control or close confluence, but our anchored VWAP from the all-time high is also coming into confluence with that daily at 96,500-ish, 96,600. So that's another key area where we could, if we even pump up to there, we could find resistance there and continue to drop to the downside. All right. Yes, let's go ahead now and let's zoom in on the chart here and let's go to the hourly chart here. Now we were trading in this small descending channel here that you can see. We had this descending channel and we're trying to break out of it. But usually when you break out of it, you want to see follow through. And we are breaking out of it. If we do come back down and back test it on very low time frames like the 6-minute time frame here, and we can back test this and hold it, we might continue pumping here. But we're squeezing here. You guys can see that's that triangle that I showed you. We're squeezing in this area. And it does look like, technically a symmetrical triangle pattern like this is a continuation pattern. So we might continue higher. We might see that fake out like I said we would, and then we might continue higher because it does give us a little bit more probability. If you pump into the pattern, you consolidate, and then you pump out of the pattern. So I'd say it's about like 63% chance that we pump out of this instead of a 50-50. But we also have to keep into context the larger time frames. And the level we bounced from, yes, it was a major support, but I think it can go lower. That now I shouldn't be saying what I think. We need to pay attention to the charts and whatever the charts are telling us. This could be a wave one impulse of a much bigger 5-wave impulse to the upside. So we do have to keep that in mind. And we did see our mini double 1-2 impulse complete within this first push up here. Yeah, that's about it for Bitcoin. Let's go to actually this chart here. This one, let's go to the hourly. Or which one was that? No, the bearish pitchfork. Okay, so the bearish pitchfork is a different pole than those other two pitchforks I've been showing you. And the bearish pitchfork, you can see the other day, first of all, this pitchfork has been really highly respected. And you can see when we had that push up to the upside, we rejected from the top of the pitchfork. On the Bybit crash lows, we bounced from the band, ranged over the weekend, dropped to the midline. So now our midline here is going to be acting as a pretty tough support. So this midline is a bit higher. It's about $1,000, $2,000 higher than our bullish pitchfork midline, but both midlines are going to be hard resistance. So we have a lot of resistance to break through. Bitcoin has a lot of work to do to get back into bullish price structures and to get bullish sentiment going again. We have a lot of different levels. You can see the value area low here also is in alignment with the upper band, and that's where our golden pocket pull is as well, near there. So golden pocket pull, high to low. You can see golden pocket is in that pitchfork band as well as our value area low up there. It's going to be real tough resistance up there. Let's just mark this out here. All right, let's see, value area low, pitchfork band, and what else was that? GP. I had a brain fart there. Okay, so that's the levels I'm looking. Now to the downside, if we do roll over the bottom of the pitchfork, I still do think we could see a bounce from the bottom of the pitchfork, which would be around 77K. That would also really fill that CME gap down there. If that doesn't bounce, unfortunately, we're probably going to come down to like that 70K area, 72 to 70K area, and continue to see a distribution play out. All right, that's about it for Bitcoin. Let's go to Ethereum. Now, guys, yesterday in Ethereum's video, we were looking at this bearish pitchfork. Let me go ahead and turn this on. And I said if the bottom of the pitchfork doesn't hold, we are going to come down and grab, do a SFP, a double SFP. Now, this double SFP that I was looking at was of the flash crash lows and then the lows that we front ran on that flash crash. So you can see both those lows there. And I said I would want to see them both taken kind of together. And you could see we did come down. As far as a SFP, it was more of a daily SFP that we saw. So if we go on to the daily, you can see we came down, grabbed both of that liquidity where I said I would expect us to see a bounce from that area. And we did grab the liquidity and we saw the bounce. So money flow doesn't look the best though here, but we are forming now possible setup for bull divs on the daily. Lower lows on the price action here, higher lows on the momentum waves, and we are at a more major liquidity grab support area. So there is a possibility that we could see a decent move up from here. So far, we're not seeing quite what we want to. I mean, it's early still in the bounce. So we did see a good bounce today. The problem is this pitchfork now is going to be acting as a resistance for us. What is this thing? So just above us here, you can see it's also near our prior lows here. And also these prior lows are what's kind of holding us down now. 2-hour time frame looks like it's about to roll over and continue down. Now, this channel as well, we do have like all these coins are kind of forming this descending channel that we're seeing here. And I do think actually, let me try this. Let's pull it from the lows. Go up to this first high. Okay, I like that better. So this descending channel here is also kind of we're chopping within this channel. And if we do our Fibonacci pull locally today of the lows to the highs of today, you can see that golden pocket 786 area is around the midline. So that's like between 2138 and 2114. This area really needs to hold if Ethereum wants to make a higher low and continue higher up. If we break that to the upside, I mean, we could look at a couple things here. So first of all, I marked this area out. This area is going to be our, let me clean this up for a second. Let's hide this. If we do a golden pocket pull from the last highs that when we rejected from that pitchfork band all the way to the lows here, let's see here, you can see that golden pocket is coming in right around the pitchfork midline here, pitchfork midline area, right around our golden pocket, and also it's our liquidity grab. So we can put this up here. I don't know why I had that down there. That is the area we can look for. The liquidity grab of this channel. Remember, we started this channel, and anytime you break a descending channel, especially a steep one like this, you usually see a sweep of all the liquidity. So we do have that SFP at 2530 into our golden pocket around 2557 to 2582. This would be the next level I'd be watching for if we can get back into the pitchfork. But even before that, the second pivot of the channel's liquidity, I always talk about this area here, we have a liquidity grab into our pitchfork band. And also, if we do a smaller golden pocket pull from this high at the top of the channel to the lows at the bottom of the channel, you can see that our golden pocket 786 is coming in right around this channel. So all these coins have some resistances to get through here. Golden pocket 786 inside our pitchfork band. And then if we break that, this up here to the upside. That's kind of what I'm looking at for Ethereum. First order of business is to get out of this channel. And it doesn't look like, I mean, it looks like we're going to start rolling over here, but who knows? Let's see. And then let's go now to Solana. So Solana, guys, I've been talking about this value area low at 127.5, 127.8 area. This area, we are seeing a nice strong bounce from this area. And Solana was in its own channel that it was actually able to break to the upside. You can see this channel here, broke it to the upside. You can see on the break, volume on the break, which is a healthy break to the upside. And we're getting above that point of control here, which was acting as resistance for us the last couple days. Point of control acted kind of as resistance here, and now we're trying to flip it to support to continue higher. If we continue higher, we do have our prior lows here. These prior lows that came in at 160 are in our golden pocket, and our golden pocket is this pull from this high here down to the lows. Golden pocket, so at 160 to 161, we do have our first resistance up here for Solana. There's not much else really in this area to keep us down. So I do think that Solana might be able to make it up to 161. And then above that, we do have even a bigger, let me get rid of this stuff now so you can clean up the charts. Above that, if we do our golden pocket pull on this golden pocket here from our range highs up here, this last range high before this big impulse down here to our lows today, our golden pocket is in our band of support, our upper band in this upper pitchfork between 184 and 187. And also we have the liquidity grab of this big dump here into that golden pocket and into this pitchfork band. So I would say this area here is a really big area that we need to be watching. And that area is going to be between 181 and 187. So 160, 161 area, and then 181 to 187. Now to the downside, guys, if we break this value area low, unfortunately, we're probably coming for the lows at 110 into our pitchfork band between 106 and 100. So I do think that is our next real valid level of support below us. Now, Solana has had a better bounce than a lot of coins today. It's been a little bit more bullish than a lot of coins. So if we look at the bounce here and we just do a Fibonacci pull from the lows to the highs up here of this bounce, our golden pocket here, well, okay, so what we can do is we can look at this smaller sideways range in Solana. You can see from this area here, this is kind of the sideways range. You can see the value area low is in that golden pocket. So if Solana is going to make a higher low than 134.4, value area low in perfect confluence with our 618, that is the level I would be watching for a bounce from, 134.4. Also, the pitchfork midline, now that we're breaking back above it, it could hold as support. Let's look at, so that's a little bit higher. Yeah, I mean, there's not much confluence there, though, unfortunately. But this pitchfork midline at 138 could hold us now that we are breaking above it. I would say, though, let's just say this. If we lose the bigger point of control of our bigger daily range, this point of control that we're above right now, if we lose that, we probably are coming to that 134.4 area, if not even lower. That's about what I got for Solana here. Let's see, we did Ethereum, XRP. Okay, XRP was trading in this descending channel as well. We saw that fake out to the downside. We finally hit our 786 that I was talking about. This area of support, that's 786. Let's zoom out on this. But we are losing. So you can see we saw the dump once we lost our value area low. Yesterday we were talking about we really want to see this value area low hold, and it's not holding. And we are actually now that we lost it, we are coming back up to bearishly back test it. We did bounce from that 786, which is good. But if we bearishly back test and reject right now, let's go on to the 15-minute again. You can see, first of all, after the deviation from our channel, we were trading in this descending channel. We saw the deviation out of the channel, got back in the channel, pumped to the top of the channel. Top of the channel is also in alignment with the bearish backtest of our value area low. If we reject here and start dropping, then we probably are going to continue lower, not to make a higher low, like I'm speculating on a lot of coins, but because we're losing our bigger range value area low and bearishly backtesting it and rejecting, we might make new lows. So let's look at our golden pocket though. Golden pocket, 786 area, I would say closer to the 786, because by the time we get down there, 786 is in pretty close confluence with the bottom of the channel, right around $2, 199.6. And we do have this little liquidity down here that's right close to that. So, but here's something that I do see on the 15-minute chart on XRP. This does look like a pretty clean impulse so far. So if we look at our 5-wave impulse, we have our low here. We have our wave 1. We have our wave 2. Our wave 3 being our biggest, most explosive. Are we just in the process of a wave 4 here, and wave 4 is usually longer than wave 2. We are longer here. Do we maybe drop to the 382 and then continue higher? Your targets for a wave 4 correction are between the 0.382 and the 0.5. So if we pull our wave 3, if we pull our golden pocket here, not golden pocket, our Fibonacci pull here, and we turn on the 0.5, 0.5 is coming in around the midline of this channel, around 208.74. The 382 is a little bit higher, 382. It would be the SFP of these little lows here at 210.53. So we'll kind of keep an eye on XRP, but XRP could be in a little 5-wave impulse to the upside. Of course, this needs to be shorter. And we do need to take into context. So now let's zoom out. We looked at the lower time frame stuff. We're still rejecting from this channel. I'm going to hide this channel for a second. We do have this major channel midline down up here that we lost, and that's at 226.81. So We can also look at a range that is forming kind of in this area here. And if we do a golden pocket pull from the highs of that range to our lows, golden pocket. Okay, golden pocket's not quite at that midline. It's probably closer to 786. So let's turn on our 786 with that. Yeah, 786 is at that midline. And then what we can do is our volume profile pull of this range here. Okay, not much confluence actually. Let's see if we just do this lower part here. Yeah, nothing much here. I would say the 786 into the midline up here is probably our best bet for local resistance. That's where our wave 5 could end. Now that would make our wave 5 bigger than our wave 3. Let's check this out. From here over sideways. Still same thing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, golden pocket 786 are the two areas I'd be looking for local resistance here. And if we dump to the downside, if this is rejecting from the bigger value area low here, you can see we're back testing the value area low after losing it. And we're going to lose and reject here. We're probably coming down to like 165. And actually, let me show you my other chart because USDT, and that's on Bybit. So, okay, yeah, so this was our support. Remember, this was our value area low and our pitchfork midline, which we did see the bounce from the pitchfork midline and value area low. But now, if we backtest it and lose it, this band down here is around 182. And let's look on this one. 182. And then this is even much lower. So, but there's not much else. Like, this was such a gigantic wick in here. There's not much else that's going to keep us from the bottom of this channel except for that pitchfork here, this bearish pitchfork that I pulled. And you can see the pitchfork is being respected here. So, yeah, depending on how quick we get down there, the bottom of the pitchfork is close to the bottom of that bigger channel. But I would be looking for some reaction in this band here between like 180 and 173. Actually, let's do this. So yeah, I do like that. The SFP of the flash crash lows into the bottom of the band. Now we would want to see us doing some chop though for a bit. Maybe see a bounce, backtest, come down here. That would be nice to see. So I would say 174-ish, 173.5, 173 is our next major support level on XRP. Okay, to the upside, we do have the liquidity of this little sideways range here, this liquidity here into our band at 236.5. So that is our first level of resistance. And then we could do a golden pocket pull from our highs of the pitchfork to our current lows. Let's look at our 0.5. Yeah, okay, 0.5 is in there too. And the 0.5, because this could be a correction before coming lower. So that area between 236 and 239 is the area of resistance. All right, and then other than that, let's get rid of this now. Our 786 might be nice. So let's do this and let's turn on our 786. Yeah, 786 is going to be coming in around the top of the pitchfork, 264.59. And we also have that liquidity before this was an aggressive dump. You see how aggressive this got here? So that liquidity is important because it was all the shorts before the aggressive dump to the downside. So 261 into 264 is a very important liquidity area into the top of a pitchfork up here. Yeah, that's what I'd be watching. Okay, that's it for XRP. Let's go into Chainlink here. Chainlink is losing, and look at, we're rejecting from the golden pocket. Dang it. Because I longed exactly 13.5 down there. Let's go ahead and go in onto the hourly chart. Dang it, not good. Okay, we front ran the golden pocket. That's nice to see. So Chainlink, let's now zoom out. I did a golden pocket pull from our last high to our last low on the hourly chart, and you can see we're rejecting from about our golden pocket area. But what's important is that we're starting to lose. Let's go on to the 4-hour chart. We're starting to lose our big daily 8-hour chart. Our big daily descending channel here. And we've been really respecting this descending channel here since the highs of this cycle. Now we lost the channel, back tested it, rejected, made new lows into our macro golden pocket. Now this golden pocket, guys, is literally the golden pocket from the bear market lows to the cycle highs of this cycle. This is such a strong support that I did put a limit down here, even with I bought some spot and I put a limit long down here because I was so confident that we were going to get at least see some reaction from this golden pocket. That doesn't mean we can't come down to 12.9, which I'll buy more spot there. But now the key is for us to get back in this channel. If we want to get back in this, we need to get back within this channel. If we reject from it again, we probably are coming down to 12.9. But I would say 12.9 is the next level to watch. This 0.65 of the more macro golden pocket. And then if we can break that to the upside, if we can break this back in this channel, we could probably see a pretty big push up here. So let's go ahead and do the Fibonacci pull from there to our current lows. So let's see here. And golden pocket. Yeah, golden pocket now has changed. Now it's where the 786 used to be, but you can see our golden pocket's right at our channel midline. So that is going to be, and our point of control is there as well. Let's go on to the daily chart. I don't really like this pull too much. What I would do is pull it to right here. Not even there. There. That's that one. And then we have this range between here and here. So yeah, you can see how the value area low of that range is around that area. Or you could do this range. Value area low is right on the 0.65. This was our accumulation range. After losing this range, we accumulated down here, saw expansion. So now if we come back to the value area low of this range right before our accumulation highs, where our accumulation highs are, that makes a lot of sense. So that's why I was suspecting this area would bounce us so much. This golden pocket is literally from $6, the $7 area, all the way up to our cycle highs for this cycle. So it's a really big, important value area, golden pocket. And now, yeah, I would say that first golden pocket into the midline, the channel midline, is going to be pretty important here. This area between 18.770. Oh, and then the point of control I was talking about was the point of control of this small 22-day range, 23-day range. You can see our point of controls in there. And we have the liquidity resting in there as well. So there's a lot up there. This one, we have a naked daily point of control, a value area high, and a swing failure pattern. And you know what? I've been forgetting to check daily levels. I'm sorry. I'm kind of rushing right now, guys. Ooh, and we have a daily level up here too. So we've got a fresh daily there that was not hit. It was front ran. You can see just barely, but it was front ran here. So that daily is up there too. Value area high back test, golden pocket. Now that golden pocket's going to change. So this is going to be a daily. That is between 17.4 and 17.75. 17.765. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at on Chainlink. Below us at 12.9 is our next major support level. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. I will try to make another video later today. If I can't, then I'll make one tomorrow. Have a good one. Have a good weekend, everybody. Trade safe out there and expect a range over the weekend.